So
Okay.
I'll just say that I'm Devin Farrow. I'm the Communications and External Affairs Assistant at the Asheville Art Museum. And we have the lovely Shay Brown Events, who is our rental manager for the space. And we have Megan Bell, who is a former contestant of The Bachelor, season 19. And she is going to be hosting her reception at the museum. And I know we did a blog post about you a little earlier on before coronavirus could sort of really happened, but tell us a little bit about why you chose Asheville Art Museum and why you wanted to work with the lovely Shay.
Well, honestly, why I wanted to work with Shay, I've been wanting to work with her for 10 years now because
Oh, doesn't surprise me.
That makes me laugh. That makes me laugh.
10 years ago, I met her just like within that minute that I saw her, but she was orchestrating my aunt's wedding, and I think something happened with my mom's dress, and Shay just like shows J-Lo off on the wedding planner and like totally puts the dress together and does some other things, and I was just like, she's gonna be my wedding planner.
She's the one.
Thank you.
And so yeah, so then 10 years later, now that I'm engaged, I just like had all these visions just like immediately pop into my head. But it was funny because like the art museum, I didn't really know was an option until, what was it, Shay, like a month down the road? Like we had definitely looked at venues, and it just wasn't like, I just had that feeling like, okay, like almost felt like I was like going to just have to like settle for one. And then she like nonchalantly was like, well, I will be working with Asheville Art Museum. And my dad was super passionate in art. He's an amazing artist. And, so he passed away, as you all read in the article. And so that was just like, I was like, that's it. Like, I want that to be my venue. If it's a dream venue, that is going to be it. So I
love that.
But then like when we toured the art museum, I just had like the homiest feeling. I don't know. It was just like a feeling that overcame me. And I definitely felt my dad's spirit there, and it felt right. Kyle and I, my fiance and I, looked at each other and we were like, wow, this is absolutely stunning.
That's awesome. I love that he was involved and felt the same way you did about the space.
Oh yeah, Kyle is a huge #1 fan of the Asheville Art Museum.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. And I've read that your parents are also from Asheville?
Yeah, born and raised, and then that's where they met. So
very cool.
They got married there, and then for job reasons, my dad's job had to transfer to Raleigh, so then that's when I came along.
That's awesome. I love that. That's great. Well, tell us a little bit about how it has been having to postpone. I know Shay can also kind of weigh in on this about when you realized you had to postpone, kind of what that felt like.
Yeah, honestly, it didn't really hit me until I started hearing, the schools were closing. I was like, wait, this is getting to be really serious, because if schools are closing, maybe indefinitely, then, they're really taking this seriously. And then, learning more about the global pandemic, I was just like, okay, this is like bigger and like way more out of my control than I can imagine. So I was like talking with my friends and my mom and Shay, of course, and we were like, okay, start thinking. It's not definite, but just start thinking of like, maybe you're going to have to postpone this. And my fiance works in the hospital. He's a nurse. So he was like, this is getting to be a little serious. And at the beginning, I couldn't wrap my head around it. It was so big. I just could not wrap my head around it. Surely this is going to go away in a week or days. And never did I think this would last as long as it already has. But yeah, when everything started closing, I was just like, my friends were like, we are definitely going to have to cancel our trip to Miami. And then when they said no more than 10 people in a room, I was like, okay, we're for real going to have to cancel and postpone this. And yeah, just putting 10 people in a room and that could just like instantly spread the virus is just, yeah, totally out of my control.
It's scary. Well, and then mostly you think the worst thing that's going to happen is rain or weather or something on a wedding day.
I mean, I knew I was going to
pandemic.
have to like prepare that everything was not going to be perfect.
Right.
I was already like this 15 months. I was like ramping myself up. I was like, yes, I know that it's not going to be perfect. I'm not expecting perfect. I actually have no expectations. I have an amazing planner that's just going to magically make it happen. But yeah, I knew that it wasn't all going to be absolutely perfect, but never in a million years did I think a global pandemic would be happening. So yeah, shocking.
I agree. Shay, do you have anything on your events standpoint to talk about, your expertise?
Yeah, I mean, as I had sent you that little email earlier, but it's definitely something that we monitor. And, about 3 weeks ago, we sent out a letter to all of our clients, just, letting them know that we're monitoring it very, very closely. And our job is to, support our clients. And, when I called Megan, we both cried. We both had some tears, lots of tears.
That's understandable.
But then, like it helps to kind of talk through what scenarios you can have, and also knowing the facts and knowing that the vendors are willing to work with you and transfer dates, and that really the date has to change. And when you weigh those options with what it truly means to have your family and friends with you for your wedding, and in those emotions, moving the wedding date makes the most sense, I think, in most cases. Megan, how did you feel about that?
About postponing it to later?
About moving it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the options were, do you have fewer people there, like your fiance, you, and the pastor, or just postpone it? And I mean, immediately I was just like, we have taken I'm not going to get emotional, stop. Okay, 15 months went into this planning, and it just like meant the world to Kyle, and to see how excited he was at like all of the meetings that we went to with Shay. I was just like, surely this can't be taken away. Like, surely that all is just going to go away, and we're just going to have planned something completely different. And I was like, no, that's not going to happen.
No. Well, and you have a special date in your mind. I'm sure this has been an important date to you, as long as, you've said it. I mean, you've had it in your...
You don't I mean, I have so many little things. This is going to sound silly, but like, Kyle's probably going to laugh at me in the other room, but the cake cutting knife set I had like May 2nd. So it's just like little things like that. And I was just
yes,
like, dang.
We can still use it.
Yeah.
We'll still use May 2nd.
Yeah.
It's there in our hearts.
I know. It does have like a powerful meaning on that day now, but
yeah,
it's emotional.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I have a best friend. I was telling Shay that it was supposed to get married April 25th and is postponing to August 30th. They've been engaged for 2.5 years.
Oh my gosh.
They've been waiting for their venue. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
I understand. Well, tell me a little bit more about how easy it was to work with your vendors moving. Was that something that you guys found stressful or pretty easy?
Do you want me to talk about that? Megan's like, well, I'm going to let Shay speak about that, because I've really not done anything. No, I've been doing this for 20 years, and we have some amazing vendors that we work with, and every one of them has been, so willing to help, and it's been great. Right now I'm working out some of the details with the hotels, because some of those can get a little sticky, now that we're moving from one date to another date, which the date will remain anonymous. We are having to look at that weekend instead of it being, a 2-night minimum, it's now a 3-night minimum, and working through those details.
Mm-hmm.
And now because we're, been mandated to move the date and all of that. So just working through those details, but they're very willing to help. And every vendor has been amazing. I mean, really and truly. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm sure you have really great personal relationships with them as well, Shay, that you can, talk to them if there's anything that you need. Yeah, that's great. Well, I think a question that I'm really curious about, and even when I was talking to my friend that I mentioned who's rescheduling, how are you guys contacting and communicating with guests? Has that been something that's a struggle, or is that pretty easy as well?
So that was emotional. I would say that was a struggle because we had just sent out our invitations, which I was so in love with our invitations. And we just sent them out days before. And a long story, it was a really big deal with the stamps, and I was doing it all by myself.
Oh,
I mean, after I was just like, wow, now I just have to send them like an email, and that's just going to be that. So that was like really emotional and hard for me personally. But we did go about it by just sending out a mass email. I went through and collected everyone's email.
which I'm sure took a lot of time.
Yeah, I was about to say, it took all day.
Mm-hmm.
We got it to them. And so, but we've had amazing messages, like they've responded back to us, and it's just been, it's meant a lot.
I'm sure you're getting lots of love and support.
All the love.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, speaking of being emotional, and this is a very hard subject, what have you been doing to keep your spirits up?
Well, first, I've had my faith in the Lord, and honestly, that's what's brought me through all of my days, all my hardships. And because I have that foundation, I've really been able to keep my head straight during this whole wedding planning process, because I know, like, for some brides it can be a lot of stress, and with something like this to happen to you, I mean, a bride can just like unravel.
Mm-hmm. No one would blame you.
Yeah, and and always in the back of my head, I'm like, what, I have a choice of how I'm going to react, and I want that choice to be pretty.
I love that. That's great advice.
And so, and of course, like, Kyle's sad too. And, he's been my rock, helping me, emotionally, but like, him too, like I've helped him too. And we've just been there for each other, but, I've kept somewhat of normalcy. So I'm going to work still, and then I'll come home and try to get some kind of workout in. But just Kyle and I have really been leaning on each other, and he's been amazing through this whole process, and my family and friends as well. So leaning on them, and honestly, talking to other brides has kind of like opened up my eyes. Like, I'm not alone. Like, I'm not alone. Everyone else is, so disappointed. And so I'm actually on a Facebook page. I never comment on there or anything, but I just look at other brides that talk to each other, and there's thousands. And so I've been going to that page, honestly, and like reading all of the posts that brides have been posting about this, and just kind of like expressing how they feel. So that has really helped to open my eyes as to like, I'm not alone.
Solidarity, catharsis, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. You definitely need that for sure.
It's definitely helped.
Have you decided if you're going to do anything special on May 2nd, your original date? Are you going to celebrate it, or?
Well, I told Kyle, I was like, that is absolute torment. Like, if we have to go through that day and not do anything, like, that's just torment. Like, I'll be so sad. I'll be so sad. And so we have planned a little something. just to do that day, just to kind of, you know,
2 of you.
celebrate. Yeah, just the 2 of us. But I guess we can't do that much.
Right.
Just
Quarantine commemoration.
Quarantine life, you know. But we definitely will not let that day pass without, you know, a cheers to something.
I think that's good. I think that's great. And it seems like it's really brought you guys stronger and closer together as a couple.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Having something like this happen to you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we looked at each other the other day and we are just like, wow, like, I'm so thankful for you. I'm so thankful for you too.
Oh, I love that. That's so
Not believe
sweet.
we're going through this together, but wouldn't have it any other way with anyone else.
Right.
Sure.
The person to go through it with, for sure. That makes sense. Well, speaking of that, has it changed anything about your perspective on life and love or the idea of a wedding, or has it sort of stayed the same?
No, I mean, I guess I have like more empathetic, empathy. I'm sorry, more empathy, and then more understanding of this world, and honestly how small it is and how precious it is. Since my dad has passed, like I've definitely, you know, that rocked my world and opened my eyes to like, all right, like we have one life and it can go like that.
Yeah.
And so this is just kind of like triggered those feelings from when my dad passed.
Right.
And kind of like revamped them a little bit, like, okay, God, I hear you. Like,
yeah.
is like, you know, once in a lifetime. Once you get one life, and it's just a matter of the choices and how you go about living. But yeah, I just feel for everybody, honestly, during this time with Kyle working in the hospital and my bosses are doctors. And just seeing them go in and out of work, it's just been, yeah, it's definitely been opened my eyes. It's just crazy. I'm still a little speechless of it all. You can't tell.
Me too. Me too. It's hard to find the right words.
Global pandemic, like what? I don't understand.
Yeah.
It took me a good bit to wrap my head around what's going on, but
really start to think about your loved ones and your friends. And
oh yeah. I mean, I try to keep up with everybody, but now like this past week I really have like just gotten to like talk to people. And like today I went on a walk, and usually people just like are on their phones and like walking by, but it was like every single person I passed by, they like just like looked at me like they were looking into my soul and just like hi, like just like the nicest hi. I was like, wow, like it's usually not like this, but this is so precious.
Right. No, that makes sense. I mean, people are getting friendlier now. They want human connection, pollution, you know, that's going down. Right. It's interesting to hear all that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm curious. I know that you had a derby theme to your wedding, and is that still going to be the theme? Have you shifted it? I'm curious. I want to know because that's a very fun theme to have.
Everyone will be raising their mint juleps for sure.
Good. Love a mint julep.
We don't have to change it.
Which honestly, I had no idea that they switched it to one of the weekends that we might be doing.
Okay,
a little spoiler, a little teaser.
Little teaser.
That's
sorry,
amazing.
I have a nap.
Shay, did you do that?
What? I didn't do anything.
Okay.
I did nothing.
Oops, sorry, Shay.
It was all Shay. She convinced them.
No.
It might not be on the same weekend, but maybe the same month.
Same timeline.
Same timeline.
I love that.
Great.
So is it, well, so it's mint juleps. Is there anything else that you can, you know, tell us about that's kind of incorporated into the design of it, or maybe the florals?
So Shay, expertise on this one.
Yeah. So I'm not going to give away any design secrets.
Okay,
or
of course.
ideas,
Whatever you're comfortable
just
with.
because I want it to be, you know, a surprise. But the menu has things that are going to be reflective,
Oh,
which is going to
awesome.
be really nice. And I don't think we have to change those. You know, we did the
Mhm.
food tasting and everything was so delicious. And Sovereign Remedies is going to be the caterer.
Oh,
And
fantastic. Great
food
choice.
was amazing. Was it not
Love
so
it,
good?
Megan.
Rocks
No.
my world. It was amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's so great. And so, you know, with that, I don't think we have to make any changes. Some of the drinks that we had, the cocktails, they fit right in. So we don't have to change
Perfect.
those. You know, and who doesn't love the ladies coming in their big derby hats? Like, especially to the church and for cocktail hour,
Love
bring
it.
them. Yeah, I'm so excited. That was my favorite part about Denise's wedding.
Oh, I
I
know.
loved it. Those big hats. Oh my goodness. And I was like, are they really going to wear hats? Every one of them did. It was
I
awesome.
love that.
I loved it. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
our family is a huge fan of the Derby. Huge fan.
That's awesome. And big hats and church go hand in hand. I love when people get dressed up like that to go to church. My favorite part. One of them.
Oh yeah, amazing. It's amazing.
Go all out. It's
The
just
pictures from that wedding are like classics. Amazing.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Should definitely be sponsored on the Kentucky Derby commercials.
That's great. It's amazing. Well, I just want to ask you my final question is from both of you. I want to hear, what advice do you have to brides that are going through a similar situation, or maybe brides in the future that might have something unexpected like this happen?
Honestly, it's from a bride standpoint. I would say just to be open-minded from the very beginning. You know, as soon as you start planning, like I sat myself down and I was just like, we're not going down the road of it just being me, because really it's not about just me. It's about my fiance and his parents and my parents and our family and friends. I mean, it's all, everyone is in the story.
Mhm.
And so just like having that perspective on it really helps. And also just go ahead and roll out the expectations. Like I know like everything pride wants is for that day to be like their absolutely perfect day. But it's definitely like in the details that just like, even like this global pandemic, like I will be able to like tell my future kids like,
Mhm.
Dad and I planned a wedding during the global pandemic.
It was really something.
They'll be like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Read about it in the textbook.
But yeah, I just like brides who just already have those super high expectations, like you're going to get let down. And so that was one thing I was super thankful for, is that I never really had like the highest of high expectations. I just wanted to get married and eat really yummy food and have Shay as my plan.
I love that. Shay is a staple for this.
Yes, absolutely. She always has been. But yeah, and to hang in there. Hang in there.
That's great advice.
What about you, Shay?
And for me, you know, I just always say, take a deep breath and think through like all of your reactions before you react, and because it affects everybody. And I think so often we forget that you know, kind of like the trickle down effect. And so many people right now are affected by this. And, you know, I know that everybody's angry, and that's kind of the first reaction, is hurt and anger. And sometimes it's just nice to, you know, pray about it, take a walk about it, you know, just take a 5-minute breather and then sit down and have a rational conversation, because you're going to come out of that conversation feeling more secure, one, about your decision, and two, honestly, about everything that you do from that point forward in your life. Because the way that you react to something sets the tone for so much else in your life. and that's what I would just encourage people to do, is just really think about, the big picture. And as Megan said, not just, the small day, because there is more to it than that. And I've been with Megan for a year now, right? A little over a year. And it affected us both. And we both had some, solid tears about this. And I have just about on a daily basis lately. So yeah. So just be considerate and think about things before you make a rash decision.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And I think I've noticed, even since I've started the museum, that you care so much about your clients, and they're like family to you, and you want them to have the best day possible. And I think you just provide a personal touch that I'm just not used to seeing in a wedding planner and event planner. So, I think we're really happy yeah, it's true. And we're really happy to have you as our events manager. We couldn't do it without you. And we're also really happy to have Megan, because you're a delight.
I'm so excited.
We're very excited. I wanted to say we are no less excited. We were also disappointed that we had to postpone, but we're excited to have you. And we hope it's going to be the best day that you could ever have. And Shay's going to make all your dreams come true, because you know that already.
It's going to be amazing.
I know.
It is. It is.
It's all going to get better. We're all going to come out of this a stronger, I think, just a stronger society in general. I mean, really and truly.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, hopefully it'll be the light at the end of the tunnel, and every one of your friends and family members are going to be so even more excited, because they'll have this pent up, joy that they want to celebrate you and Kyle.
Yeah,
I think it's going to.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was telling Kyle, I was like, well, this day just put that much more of a meaning.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Not just the unity of you and I, but our family and friends together. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It really is. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to have this call and do this interview, because it means a lot. And I'm just really excited to meet you, Megan, because I've heard a lot about you.
I'm so excited to meet you too. And
I love talking to Shay. As usual, I always like it when she comes in the office.
Thank you. I'm excited when we get out of this quarantine phase that we can come do our final walkthrough and layout and Yes,
and I'm excited. I hope you guys let me know when she comes in, because I'd like to meet her in person.
I will.
Awesome. That's great.
Deep breaths.
Thank you guys so much.
Oh, thank
you. Okay, girl?
Thank you. Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I have my ups and downs.
Sending love.
All right, take a good deep breath. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Jennifer.